It's early morning at Sydney Motorsport Park for today's track day event. I haven't recorded any video as yet, and I've gone around the track already for one session.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And during my second session, it looks like I blew the head gasket. I was pushing the car the hardest I ever have, and it got quite hot.
Softly creeping, left it.
The first thing I had to do was drain all the water out of the system and out of the block. I also removed the spark plugs and squirted in some oil. So off with the airbox and checking the oil, there doesn't seem to be any water in the sump. Now with some help from Steve, we're going to take the head off and see what's going on. So off come the fuel lines and the linkages, but we also found some wobbly venturis. The piece that locks it in place is a little short, like it got worn out. I've ordered some new ones, but they won't arrive for a few more weeks.
So yeah, you can fully see that that's failed there. And see this one here? That's the one I was saying, that's the one that normally blows, because see that's the big hole closest to the edge, and it's got the least clamping force on there. That's the one that, if you see it blow with detonation, more often I've seen number one, okay? But number two and number three, why they lift across here usually, is because that point of the head is actually the hottest part of the head, because you've got an exhaust valve by the side. Okay, here you've got an inlet valve by the side, and here you've got an inlet valve by the side. So you've got the cool gases flowing in here, you've got the hot gases flowing out here next to each other.
Doing some measurements on the head, it's definitely warped from all the heat. So it's time to strip the entire head and take it to get machined. Numbering and bagging everything, so we put everything back in the same spot. This valve had some burnt coolant on it, but overall they're all in good condition. We dropped past in-tune performance and dropped the head off. It was done in 45 minutes. Now it's time to get everything else ready for reassembly. Another problem we found was the pin was not in the float. So now that everything has had a good bath, it's time to reassemble. And once again changing the belt and the bearing. So on goes the new head gasket and the head, and then torqued down. Putting back the extractors, the carburetors, and then the fuel lines. And then oiling up the cam. Putting in some coolant, reattaching the exhaust, and then putting the leads back on. And then a few squirts of Start Your Bastard to get the show on the road. Now with the car running, we can get the timing done. With the car running and the airbox back on, there's nothing more to do than take it for a drive.
I wanna down, but not all the way. When I'm feeling low, do you think you're sorry? Then I feel okay. You're so good, the way you give. You're so good, you're the best there is.
There's just one more thing I need to do. Retro computer enthusiast Murray has his car stuck in the garage. He can't get into gear because the clutch slave cylinder is leaking. There also seems to be no more adjustment in the clutch. So he's going to replace the cylinder by removing the hose first. Then just 2 bolts hold the cylinder in place. With the cylinder out of the car, you can clearly see oil coming out the top. It looks like the rubbers have degraded inside. And with a new one, it just simply goes back in place the way it came in. Now to refill the reservoir and then rebleed the system. And with the car sitting for weeks, it needs a jump start. The clutch is now working, but there is no adjustment left, but the car now moves. I wonder what's going to break next.